This is kind of what I'm currently working on. But what I wanted to show here was this. I had this idea last night, and the problem is when you get into the mining and you get into the salvaging, especially the salvaging, the salvaging kind of sucks, and there's kind of an issue with it. It's just that it's a point laser point. You have your multi turret, and you just have um, this multi turret. And you just sit there and you aim at stuff for like 40 minutes until you're out of range, and then you aim at something, and then you're out of range. And I was thinking, kind of to make that experience a little better and to drive that those mechanics that exist to where you create ships to overcome complex situations. And so I was thinking this would have to be incorporated into the game. It's something that doesn't currently exist. But what I was thinking is if we could have the ability to create a grid, and the way this would work is it would be something like this. And this, of course, this is just, it's not done up fancy, but you could do this a couple different ways. And the idea here is I could just do this. I could just do this, and this would be the same thing. I don't know why. Getting into these habits. Um, there we go. And kind of the construct of this, and I'm gonna. This is a dummy. This is not how it would be. But let me do this. I want to kind of make this is just imagine that this is not there, right? This is not there. This is all, but I'm doing it to kind of hang the bracket. And so if it was like this, right, and you could stagger these things out, and then, um, like this, and you go up like this, right, and then the way this would work is you could stagger these out, and basically you'd have to create a new asset to where I think that's good. You create a new asset to where you basically have a hatch grid, and in that hatch grid, whatever you pass through this area, and you'd have to put. Let's see if there's a little fixture, a little something I could put on there to kind of um, emulate like it would be like a laser head is basically all it would be. Let's say this light is a laser head, and really what you would do is you'd have a negative and a pot. Oh, that's the wrong. That's the wrong. So these would be laser heads, and it would create. I'm having breakdown here. Okay, there we go. Oh, that's yellow. Also, I don't know why that wouldn't go. So basically, it'd be like you can line this up. So these would just be like a male and female laser head, and so you would put like the corresponding. You'd put like the male on this side and the female on, and all it would do is it would create a beam across. And then same thing here. You put a male and a female, and it would create a beam across, right? And then a male and well, that would be already matched up. So male and female, and you could mix match them. So you could have male over here, and then male over there, and then male over there, and then you could also color code them too. And so whatever passed through this grid would be broken down to to be salvaged. And so it's a way for you to create a type of ship to where, let's say if I wanted to do two of these and I mirrored this, and I could make this crazy looking like Creel style ship that has these two big wings that come out. And then when I wanted to salvage something, I would just turn on my salvage things, and the beams would just go. They wouldn't just shoot out into blank space. They would just exist within this fork right here, and they would create a grid back and forth, and then I could just drive this past, as I pass through, like if I was the ship, as I pass through over the item, it would salvage whatever I pass through. Obviously I wouldn't get it all, and I'd have to make another pass, or I'd have to sit there for a certain amount of time. But it's just kind of a refinement of that current skill set where um, it's kind of developing existing technologies in the game to kind of refine how you can do the playstyle and really drive that creative mode for people to get in there and build very purpose built ships. And so that was just a kind of an idea I have. And I know I'm using the light as an example, for the male and female laser heads, salvage laser heads. And and you could use whatever asset you wanted to use. It's just kind of an example, but it would create this grid, a laser, basically kind of a laser grid that went across, and whatever passed through there would just automatically get salvaged into the ore container box. And I don't see that being overly complicated to create. I mean, there would be a little bit of asset creation on a male and female head, or maybe they would just use the same graphic for both. You just had to have one on each side. You just had to have a yin to the yang. But that was my idea, is kind of a salvaging grid, or the ability to create a salvaging grid. You could use the same laser beam that already exists. You could use, you could set it up to the logic to where, you hit a switch and you turn it off and on. And you could build giant spaceships to where basically it's a way to build a giant spaceship where it's a salvaging ship. And you could just go through and salvage large structures this way. And it would only be it'd only be on CDs and home bases. So same thing. If I built this giant grid, here's another. Let's say I do this H, right? Let's say kind of here's an example. So I want to do. I've forgotten where it's at. Where did you go? Oh, that's why. Uh, that's right. Where the hell did it? Oh, that's what I got going on. That's why. Where are my blocks? Where are my blocks? That do I need to? Is it here? Is it here? Where are my foundation blocks? I thought all blocks were right here. Oh, here it is. It's here all along. Home base. My bad. Sorry about that. Home base. Okay. So same thing, right? If I have my base, I'm like boom, boom. Oh, that's no good. I'm at my home base. Boom, right? And then of course, same construct. So I come up, right, and I could build, and because we have landing gear and we have, I could create kind of a pit, a salvage pit, and everything that existed, right, and then um, if I wanted to salvage something, I could just drive it up into this pit, and I'm going to use kind of the light as a um, kind of an example, a placeholder, right? Because it would just basically be the laser head, and but it'd be like the size of this light. It'd be a small little item that you would just place, and let's say you could only have a number of 8, right? So you couldn't, or 10, and you just basically kind of line them up opposite, and I know that's not matching, but you get the point. You get the kind of the idea. And then, and if I wanted to go this way too, I could create this mix match pattern where these lasers only exist in this grid, because I've set up the negative and positive laser heads, so they only exist. They don't shoot past it. They just exist. And so whatever I dropped into this laser grid, it would salvage, right? It would salvage. Or maybe I could put it closer to the ground, because obviously if it fell too fast, it wouldn't salvage everything. So I would want to put it right on the ground, and it would just salvage the whole thing, right? I would just drive something up in there, and it would salvage the entire thing. And if I came across a giant ship, I could have another ship, and I could just slowly fly over it and just salvage the ship, like mirror, 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 kind of idea. And I think I've kind of fleshed out this construct of this idea of how to kind of use existing assets and technology to kind of flesh out more purpose-built gameplay, and to really drive that creative mode. But as always, thanks for watching. Feedback is always welcome. I don't know if this is doable, but yeah, thank you very much.